number 5, and this has been shaping up to be a fantastic series. I'm ready for the 5th game here.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what map we're actually going to be going to when we go through this drafting phase of the map, of course, but we need to go to something that is a bit more standard for both teams. Like, this is absolutely down to the wire now for Fnatic, that technically, if they do, again, win this game, then they will go to the LAN at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice for the Western Clash. So it looked like they were going to take it 3-0 on practice holdout. Of course, we had that crazy occurrence happen.
And the crazy one. Now we're in danger for Fnatic if they're wanting to go to Katowice. Let's check out the battleground, where we're going for game number 5. We're looking for standard. Let's see where we go here. Banned out is BOE and Warhead Junction. We have played on Sky Temple. We have played on Cursed Hollow. We have played on Praxis Holdout. We just finished up on Infernal Shrines. Game number 5 is Dragonshire.
Dragonshire, okay.
Picked here by Dig, so Fnatic will get first pick, which is scary to see. Falstad jumps up to me automatically here with Dragonshire.
Well, we're going into the draft, so I think that what we will see, is kind of that focus once again on things like that. Things like Falstad, things like Dahaka, but again, a lot of the compositions that we've seen in the past couple of games still hold true here on this map. One thing that I want to see maybe work in its way is Zul, actually. We could potentially have Zul make an appearance. It's been shown by other teams to be strong on this map, and Johanna as well. I wouldn't mind seeing Johanna.
Yeah, he's certainly gotten much more popular. Oh, Dignitas says, no, Kalaris, no Zul for you today. So this actually opens up a lot with Zul being banned out. Suddenly, Falstad, Ragnaros, ETC, Malfurion, all these heroes that you see in the first couple of slots now are all available. Fnatic gets their first choice, but Dignitas now has two slots here to take some of the stronger heroes they normally see. Dahaka is picked up over to Dignitas. What do we get from them? Oh, wow, Jaina first pick into Malfurion?
That was unexpected. That's the highest prioritization we have seen of Jaina all HGC Europe. Interesting. So that opens up for a very interesting draft. And that feeling when you know these just two teams too well, that's the Zul ban, I can't believe. So, Jaina Malfurion means that on the other side, I think Rehgar and something.
This is Falstad. We need our wave clear. And Muradin, wow, he makes his return. We haven't seen him in a few days here, as he has a pretty solid low win rate in terms of being picked. Fnatic actually indeed are 2 and 4 with him, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the top teams haven't really been going towards him, navigating towards him. He definitely has lost some of his power. We were talking about it before the broadcast today, how in this meta where there is a lot of sustainable warriors and heroes, he doesn't quite have the same punch, right? Because he's a kind of warrior that wants to get on towards a squishy, but there aren't that many squishies to get on towards at the moment.
Yeah, the meta has changed so much that Muradin has a hard time just being an annoying nuisance like he normally has been.
Yeah.
This forces Dignitas to go down the route of multiple robust warriors, if you will, to handle the Muradin. If not, if they go down the Zeratul, maybe into a, I don't know, a Diablo, suddenly there is a point where Muradin becomes strong. So it's a good, solid pickup here for Fnatic. And again, another call out to the Hearthstone viewers that are joining us today from the HCT. Welcome to the HGC. Thank you so much here for being the Heroes Global Championship. We are in an incredible game here for game number 5, best of 5 series between some of the best teams we have in Europe.
So Zeratul is going to be the focus here, the second ban, because of course Jaina being so heavily prioritized in Heroes of the Storm means that there is the potential that Zeratul, for the Jaina-Zeratul combo of Void Prison, just locking someone down and then following it with Jaina's Ring of Frost, becomes an extremely powerful and potent combination. So that's been a staple through Heroes of the Storm for a long time, and you've got to be careful of it always.
Got to be careful. Tyke's been banned out, which indicates that Dignitas may go heavy on the melee warriors, even a melee assassin. Ragnaros is definitely still up for pick here for Dignitas. Muradin also, when you think about it more, is actually pretty solid against Tyrael. You get Skullcracker build, you get the Storm builds available. If you can slow down the aggression that comes from Tyrael, you're putting yourself in a solid spot for your team to hold out the engages against your opponent. So Muradin again here. Setting up Dignitas, what do you go for? I would love to see the Ragnaros.
Yeah, something like that would be very good. I mean, because they banned out the Tychus themselves. I was thinking about it, and it's like, well, if they're banning it out themselves, then there must be something else. Tyrael and Sergeant Hammer once again. That's 4 hammers this series. 2 for either side. Very interesting.
She is creeping up here. for Dignitas and Fnatic. And the more I think about it too, how good is it against Varian too? With Varian being one of the major heroes that have constantly been growing. Granted, it still works here on Dignitas because you can set up on the bottom lane, and they already have their Dahaka and Muradin, but it's kind of interesting how she has rised so much here in the tier list.
All right, so the only thing that we're waiting for on side of Fnatic is Smexy's and Shrimpy's heroes. So Smexy's, it'll probably be a Rehgar, something like that. Shrimpy, I'm trying to figure out in my brain what it could end up being. It could be a Li Ming, not with quite the potency of a Varian Li Ming. Hell, it could even be Sylvanas coming out. Or a Chromie. I mean, it's not even that bad a map for Chromie, I don't feel.
Yeah, I lead myself a little bit towards Chromie. The wave clear to be better, though.
There we go.
Chromie, so they get Johanna? No, they go Karazim because they need to heal. So now we have the Chromie, the Karazim, Muradin, Falstad, and Dahaka. So they do have hard engage to hop on top of Hammer after Chromie does hit a few of her skills. The counter pick here, Dignitas, is ETC still available? ETC is still available if they want to go for the double warrior.
ETC all rag.
Yeah?
Like,
you need your top lane. Tyrael can hold top lane, okay, but he's going to be mana spent.
Yeah, every top lane I see there at the moment isn't great.
Yeah.
So Ragnaros or even Thrall to try and get on towards Chromie again. They did attempt to execute that before, and Thrall could hold very nicely.
I like Thrall more because he needs setup. Ragnaros again could fling Sulfura Smash left and right, but there's no major lockdown except for root here. The root for 16 for Jaina.
We just end up in that situation where it would be Ragnaros against Dahaka again, and I think that's probably the better matchup in the current meta to go to, because Dahaka's very likely to be that solo.
Such a bully in that top lane. So what is the choice here? Ragnaros is the choice. So here we are in game number 5. These are the teams that will be facing off. Chromie comp against a Sergeant Hammer comp here in 2017.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive here.
And it also decides if Fnatic is guaranteeing themselves a spot at the Western Clash.
Yeah.
That is the big thing. These two compositions will decide that here and now for the guarantee for Fnatic. Of course, Dignitas has already qualified thus far. Very interesting draft. Impressively interested to see how the Karazim is going to play into this. Not something as common, especially in the hands of Smexy. Throughout the middle of 2016, he did get a lot better at the hero with his palms, etc. I would like to see Palm. I think seven-sided does a little too much.
It's a little aggressive, especially against a Tyrael. You don't really get too much value out of it, and there's no crazy burst here that you need on top of that Chromie doesn't already provide for the team. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Palm's probably the way to go.
Unless they go temporal and then have a setup where they want to blow someone up with Dragon's Eye, with the Chromie actually just bursting down that target, and then having the seven-sided there as well for extra massive damage, because you know the person's always going to be there, but I think I would still like Palm a little bit more.
Yeah, I concur there. The Palm is probably one of the best choices you can pick here for the Battleground. Let's find out here. Game number 5, Dragonshire. Fnatic taking on Dignitas. Can Fnatic earn a victory and set themselves up for Katowice? We'll find out now.
All comes down to this, as we do have to the left-hand side in the blue, it's Smexy on Karazim. Breeze is going to be on Muradin. Next up, Quacknix on Falstad. And then rounding out with DPS, Shrimpy on his ever-lovable Chromie, the small little gnome. And Wubby will be on Dahaka for Team Fnatic.
On the right, Bakery. Here on Malfurion. JPL playing the Tyrael, going to keep up that aggressive play that he's been using so much. Snitch here being the catch-all for Dignitas will be playing Hammer. Mayday on his Jaina, and he has been hitting Ring of Frost like crazy here in the HGC, and Zelia at the top there will be playing the Ragnaros. So here we go. Kalaris. The engage begins here at the very front. Breeze in the front line will connect with a Stormbolt. It has begun.
Yep. Clear that wave mid lane, go to the other lanes, get yourself in a good spot here. And, you know, looking at the early game potency out of this fight, I don't think too much is going to really happen. I don't think either team is going to really let anything die off. Interestingly enough, level 1 for Jaina already starting out with Deep Chill. So a bit more of an unconventional talent in the current meta, at least. We used to see it quite a lot. But Mene looking just for extra slow wherever he can.
Extra slow, Shrimpy being hit. JPL going for the chase here. Is a smite, but Shrimpy will be able to retreat for now. And speaking about the Chromie, what is that, 5 games now? With Shrimpy playing Chromie, and he has a 100% win ratio? I don't think he has lost himself here with Fnatic. They are set up very well here. Could this be the game to break their Chromie win record?
Okay, so in 10 seconds, if you're new to Heroes of the Storm, Dragonshire has the following mechanic. 2 shrines will spawn, one to the north, one to the south. If you stand on them, kind of like a King of the Hill style, you control them, then you can see that little altar in the very top of the screen right now. And you channel that, you gain yourself the Dragon Knight. It's a big, meaty unit that you can use to your advantage to push down towers, gain yourself a little bit of experience a little bit early.
Yeah, one of our players will jump into that Dragon Knight and use it as a vehicle to push down the lanes. So here we are, Flag next. Breeze, continue the aggression. Hi, Mom. Hello, Mom. Welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy your stay here. The 2 Dragon Shrines have been grabbed here by Fnatic, one at the top, one at the bottom here. However, with Jaina sitting in the middle, it's very hard to grab the Dragon Knight. So the advantage is to grab experience pushing in. This is actually one of the stronger things about Chromie, is if she gets set up with a teammate near the side of the shrine, she can see forever, slowing people from walking in and getting damage built up. Also, whilst this is still a highly tense situation, I want to talk about how traits work for a lot of these heroes. Every single hero has a different trait that is available to them. It could be passive, it could be an activatable. Shrimpy on the Chromie down towards the bottom, he will get all of his talents 2 levels earlier because Chromie is a bronze dragon from the World of Warcraft universe. He's a little Time Lord.
Yes, so playing with time. So 2 levels earlier, she will always get her talents, and that creates for great power spikes for this very, very potent hero. That being said, under threat, manages to get away from the roots laid down by Bakery.
Falstad has pushed Mane out in the middle lane here. She will walk away with low health, but still a great aggressive play from that Falstad. Now they can have a maneuver down at the bottom and maybe set up here for the Dragon Shrine to unlock their Dragon Knight. Hata continues to own that top lane though, as Ragnaros is consistently playing more reversed. Snitch though, on the right, moving in here with the help of JPL.
Yep, and a little bit of power going on towards him, and that's a good time trap there, locking down Snitch, making sure that he can't do damage, being able to get forwards as he was in stasis for a moment there. So Dignitas will wrestle this away, and you can see up towards the top, Fnatic has just hit level 6 against level 5, and looks like not going to be any advantage taken of it. The one thing that is an advantage, of course, is that once again, Shrimpy is getting his talents earlier. So he's had his Dragon's Eye, which means that he's going to do big damage towards the middle of the circle, as you can see over there, right on that Snitch. So very good example. Thanks, Shrimpy.
Nice chunk there, fighting securely in the middle here. The shrine in the middle. Again, it being lit up means that Fnatic can grab it if they're able to move one of their members over to grab that Dragon Knight. Constant push down here on the bottom as the chunks continue to hit here as Snitch keeps walking into Sandblast.
We haven't seen Chromie versus Hammer in this series, despite seeing a lot of Chromie and a lot of Hammer, right? And that's a dynamic that's very scary for the Hammer. You can barely ever see Just, especially if you see Reaching Through Time coming along at level 11.
Yeah, she was banned when you thought that she did run that Hammer on Darkness Holdout. Big drag, though, on Jada and Mana.
Oh.
Mane will fall here. JPL is able to escape here with the Eldruins, but there is a dragon being grabbed. No one's at the bottom, no one's at the top. This is the dragon here for Fnatic, and the Dragon Knight will continue to push down this middle lane. For you at home, it's the first time you're seeing a Dragon Knight. It is intended to clear these turrets out. Watch as it destroys all the infrastructure available for the red team.
Yeah, bonus damage to these buildings as it whacks away at them. So Ragnaros in the middle is going to pop Molten Core and try and clean that up. Can use it every 100 seconds or so early on.
120, yeah.
120, yeah. And then from that point on, he gains new abilities, able to do some damage at very long range to his opponents. But obviously you can see Fnatic very, very clever about their positioning. They don't want to be just butting heads with that Molten Core at all. It's just going to look for, again, these extra towers. This will slowly push them towards 10 before Dignitas, and that's where the real power spike in the game between these two very competitive teams really holds strong.
Yeah, the heroic power is the unlock a fourth ability that is just massive and impactful. Wubby was able to burrow away from this fight here as Ilya and Mane look to take him out, and he does escape in that top left area. Fnatic closer to 10 than their opponents. The experience bar about to hit level 9 at the very top of your screen here. Sergeant Hammer and Bakery on the right here could move in to start grabbing those giants to apply pressure, as mercenaries are the name of the game if you want to push your opponents into their lanes.
All right, so taking this, look, Breeze trying to invade on towards this hard camp, but it's not to be the case. Muradins can wrestle and push people away with the potential of the entire team being behind him. So trying to put fear into the heart of Team Dignitas, but they weren't falling for it, as they're going to take another camp towards the bottom, allow this to push on down the bottom lane. But look at all the damage that Fnatic has done to these towers. They've opened up every single lane's fort.
which means the next Dragon Knight could be a 4 takedown.
Yeah.
Especially with them having Chromie here and no major auto attacker except for Falstad, it is hard for them to do it on themselves, but using that vehicle, that Dragon Knight will open up that opportunity. Dignitas should be scared now. 10 has now hit for Fnatic. We have our Temporal Loop. We have our Mighty Gust. Karazim has yet to take his heroics. Murden, I'm assuming it's going to be Avatar, and then Dahaka, most likely going to be that Tidation. There is a Divine Palm that you were asking for earlier.
Cool.
There's Avatar, and Dahaka should get his adaptation so he can be just as tanky down that back line.
Yeah, so let's see how much they're able to do with this level 10. Because there's a small window now where Dignitas doesn't have the heroics. Dignitas needs to play defensively, doesn't want to stray too far forwards against Fnatic, as they've seized the early game advantage quite nicely.
There is. We have isolation.
Oh, we do.
For Dahaka.
I was thinking if they were going to go down that path. The interesting thing is that as much as there's a lot of damage on the opposite side, Palm kind of acts like a supplement for the idea of not taking adaptation, you know?
And if you hit isolation on Sergeant Hammer, her massive range that is so good at breaking down such will be taken away. There's Zelia, though, being focused down. Drag comes in.
Beautiful.
Schwempy does the combo, and we no longer have a Ragnaros on the field.
So it was reaching through time, so this is going to help him a lot in really increasing the range of Schwimpy on that Chromie very nicely. A big, very, very heavy ranged artillery character. And then on the opposite side, it was a nice attempt to deny the fight, the combination coming out with the Sulfura Smash, but it wasn't enough. As Dignitas really wants to try and wrestle this away at the moment, but Dragon Knight's been taken by Fnatic once again, and they're very much so in the driving seat right now.
There they are. They're holding down their opponents in the bottom right. Chromie setting up as well here. The constant aggression from JPL. Chromie and the Dragon is going to the top lane there. Kind of odd to have Chromie and the Dragon, but there she is there. Breeze continuing with the push. Molten Core popped from the bottom, which has indicated that Schwimpy moves to the top lane and will continue the damage.
It's like a babushka doll, you know? It's Dragon within a Dragon. It's all right, it's all right. When he pops out, you know, he's opened.
Dragonception, man. Oh, hang on. Big root here. Schwimpy taking some damage, but it's mostly losing out on that Dragon Knight. They still had a good 25 seconds to use it here, but Zelia and Mane will help out with the clear. Jaina, so powerful, using that chill there to help out with clearing it. But at the same time, Fnatic and the bottom lane pushes into the fort, low on health here, and the Blacknex on the back left is in trouble. Mexi holding for now.
Jay just continuing.
Druin. Can he fly away?
Nice.
He does fly away from the fight. Mexi will Radiant dash away, and Breeze should be just fine.
With the 3-man that they had down here, unfortunately, they'd used any attempt at CC to try and bring him out of that flight. So nicely done by Quacknix to know that he can get out there. And Dignitas, for all intents and purposes, as much as they are slightly behind in this game, they haven't lost as many thoughts as I was expecting them to, off the back of the pressure that we've seen from Fnatic so far.
Yeah, they have a solid defense. Sergeant Hammer shredding the Dragon, Jaina shredding the Dragon as well. It's mostly dealing with the split push that will occur from Fnatic, and they've done a solid job. Losing one fort now here, as it is down in the bottom right. Dignitas starting to move towards 13 themselves. JPL with the aggression here. Breeze looking to steal a mercenary camp, but with the aid of his teammates, Dignitas will be able to secure the mercenary camp.
As a slight disclaimer for anybody that may be new to watching Heroes of the Storm, there are every single talent tier, 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, etc., unless you're Chromie, which is an outlier to that level numbers. You're picking all the talents, and a lot of the talents that you see at the top are just very common talents that we don't necessarily talk about. If you want to delve more into that, there are great resources to teach you really strong meta builds. A lot of these ones that we're seeing right now are very heavy meta. We just kind of discuss ones as if they're outliers that come along.
Yep, if you see these builds at the very top, feel free to use them in your own games.
That's strong.
They're great guidelines to start off with, and then of course learn from there and build out your own game. Zelia on the right side here will clear up this bridge with the help of Mane. Fnatic takes the opportunity of the mercenaries pushing the top to head to the middle lane. Killing these force again opens up the map. The more map control you have, the better spot you are in. Breeze with the ability to walk away as he takes that damage. Mexi with the Radiant Dash. JPL taking the poke here on the right side. That imposing will starting to kick in though.
All right, so we're starting to get down to the nitty-gritty of this game, and things are getting tense because Fnatic still is in a great position to propel themselves forward into that Western Clash because they've got a great advantage. What they want to do now, 15 versus 13, is they want to avoid fighting directly with their opponents until they get 16 themselves so they can push themselves to another tier advantage, another talent advantage. So they'll just delay this out for the moment. Always have one shrine to make sure Dignitas can't capture that Dragon Knight. Look at the damage onto our Snitch from the Chromie. It's very difficult for that siege tank to siege up against the big burst fast.
Yeah, you got to watch out for it. It's easy picking first one with the.
Yeah,
Just do is drop down the W, hit the Q, and he's good to go. Ninja 13 has also picked Giant Killer. This is very helpful and needed with Dahaka and Muradin being here. Muradin in particular, when he goes in Avatar state, will take more damage from that Giant Killer. So Sergeant Hammer definitely wanting to get rid of that front line when the chance is given. JPL has the Druids to walk away from Breathe at the same time, but 16 is about to hit here for Fnatic, and that's a big power spike.
Yes, definitely. So, and you can see the change in the minimap down towards the bottom because Dignitas knows that they can't go up against them with that talent advantage. So they had to give up Dragon Knight. This is going to open up a potential strong advantage here for Fnatic, even further than they already have in that 16 versus 14. And Dignitas has to just buy time. What we're probably going to see is if Fnatic sticks around in this middle, we'll see a Molten Core come out from Ragnaros very soon to try and dissuade Fnatic from continuing pushing.
Yeah, the defense is the name of the game here for Dignitas, and they're setting up. There is Mayne dropping the Blizzard. We did have Ragnaros at the bottom clearing a wave, helping the experience here. They're trying to get 16 themselves, but this Dragon just is such a threat right now to their keep walls.
One thing important to note is that because the Molten Core from Ragnaros' trait is 120-second cooldown, they want to delay it till the very last second. That's big damage from Chromie once again on towards Mayne Bakery. Shrimpy really laying a lot down here from the artillery position at the backlines, and they defend this well, not losing a single keep without even having to use Molten Core. So as much as they were being fired at from range, it was a very good defense by Dignitas.
That's how scary Dragon's Eye and Sandblast could be without reaching through time. Yeah. You don't even see the poke coming your way, and next thing you know, you're down to less than, what, 200 health? Now, Furion was working double time there to keep his teammates alive for the moment. 15 still here for Dignitas. They are so close to 16. He would clear out his wave on the bottom right. Temporal Loop goes off, and there will be Tyrael drilling away. Molten Core has been popped here as Dignitas looks to clear up the push coming their way.
Fnatic had a full board and Ragnaros just went 8 damage to face, but unfortunately there was plenty of armor available to Fnatic, so it really didn't do too much. So now...
the heal from Kirazim, the more you think about it, is actually really good for Ragnaros. When you want that disengage, you drop the heal on all your teammates, they group up, and you just get the extra speed to run away from that range available for Ragnaros. Cool little interaction there between Kirazim and Ragnaros.
Completely agree. So now, Fnatic still very much so on the way to winning this game because still Team Dignitas doesn't have level 16. You may be wondering why it's taking them so long. Well, a lot of their heroes kind of have to stay grouped to actually deal with this defense. They don't have global abilities, unlike Fnatic on the other side. You can see on the minimap to the top, Dahaka is doing a very good job of soaking, and then he can join the fight at any time. He can just press Z, and click on a bush and be right in the fight at the same time, whereas Dignitas doesn't have heroes that are available to do that, so they can't soak experience as easily across these lanes.
Chromie getting that level 18 now has Endural Anomaly. It's going to be really difficult for Dignitas to get the engage they want against said Chromie, as she's going to have 2 extra charges of our time trap set up all around the battleground to hold those chokes down. You see the time trap being placed in the bush there on the left. And whenever a major engage comes, these are just so annoying. There's a boop, there's a drop, there's some damage. JPL with the shield is able to survive for now, but the poke continues.
Stasis for days. It's going to be very difficult for them to find a good engagement here for Team Dignitas. Although that's a great holy ground. Shrimpy manages to get out of there with the speed help from Smexy. That was clutch fast considering the position.
That heal from Smexy and that speed boost is so helpful for getting Chromie to run around that holy ground. Continue pokes down here on the bottom right. Falls into Dahaka, though, are working on the top lane. They don't mind here.
Yeah. This is very good by Fnatic. They're just showing that their global power is extremely impressive. Also damage here from Fnatic in a 3v3 situation. Dahaka just joined the fight here towards the back. They're looking for damage. Sanctification's been thrown down by Tyrael, and he's going to try and get away. Breeze also putting a lot of damage. There's Falstad. There's the Gus. They're looking for damage. Ring of Frost comes out, but they all avoid it. Fnatic plays a blinder of a fight.
Wubby on the back line here. Temporal Loop pops off. Ice Buff will slow him down the holy ground, but there's a drag. Wubby getting the kill on Malfurion. JPL and Stitch on the other side. Molten Core is sieging from the middle lane here, but as long as no members fall, Fnatic have all 5 members up and can grab the Dragon Knight and go for a massive push up here in the bottom lane or even the middle. Both are open for them.
So far, they seized momentum from the very beginning of this game and they never let it go. They haven't given Dignitas a single kill or opportunity to really get them, to be honest with you. And Fnatic now, 20 versus 17, they are staring down qualification for the Western Clash.
Big trouble on the bottom right, 3-level lead. Dignitas hoping to even hold on here. Molten Core has been used, which means it cannot be used for defense. Azalea and crew will have to set up defensively for this massive push coming their way. This Dragon is very healthy at the moment. Blizzard does not connect with Wubby. Continue push here for the core.
They need to have Zalia have Molten Chorus, but it's 74 seconds away. They need defensive capabilities. Fnatic's not going to play it too aggressively by the looks of things, but that being said, now they've just decided to go straight to core. Here it is. Is Fnatic going to be able to finish it here?
Here they go, pushing it down. Shields have been destroyed, dropping down to 90%. Smexy on the left side here. JPL is going for Chromie and the Karazim. Delia in the front line, applying damage just as well. The Dragon finally in the back line has brought the core down to 48%. Dignitas looking for a defense, but they have lost their Ragnaros. The burrow from Wubby keeping alive. Tempora Luke comes out. Certification pops at the same time. Breeze goes in for the massive silence here. Smexy on the right side. Quacknick's looking for more damage. Breeze does jump away. A massive amount of damage done to the core, 63%, but Dignitas seems to hold for now.
Yeah, so that was a great palm on Wubby as well. But they're going to go back in here knowing there's 26 seconds still left on Ragnaros actually coming up. Stormbolt hits Mene on the left-hand side. Breeze jumps on the other side of the core here, making sure that they could all get healed up and sustained, not taking risks, coming back to the core. They take the series 3-2, qualifying themselves for the Western Clash.
That's right. We have all three teams now for Katowice. We have Misfits. We have now Fnatic after that victory, and Dignitas all heading to the Western Clash. Congratulations to them. But an awesome best-of-5 series between two of the best here in Europe. Wouldn't have had it another way, man. Sergeant Hammer, Chromie, crazy comp here in Game 5.
Yeah, it was a brilliant series.
Yeah.
Considering that Fnatic went up 2 games, could have had a 3-0, but Dignitas with clutch holds, showing again why these two teams are two of the big 3 here in Europe, solidifying themselves in that spot and playing a brilliant, brilliant series.
Yeah, and something that I walk away from the series enjoying is that Dignitas mentioned last week in their interview that they felt that they were equals with Fnatic. They're back in their posture here of being in the top 3. And I feel like that series, granted it didn't start out so well for them in Game 3, Game 4, they showed, yes, they are meant to be here in top 3. Zalia is melding well, and they continue to grow.
Yeah, definitely. I'm wondering if things could have been different, if we'd have seen maybe the navigation away from Tracer in that very first game. But, I mean, regardless, what is done is now done. Fnatic solidifying themselves in such a good spot. And considering what we've seen, the dedication and the practice from the big 3 in Europe, they very thoroughly deserve those positions.
Yeah, and it looks like we're getting set up here to interview Quacknick about his win against the opposing team. So excited to see that. We'll be getting ready to go, and we'll be talking to them and figure out what exactly they are looking forward to, as they'll be going against the Clash. They'll be facing against North America, ANZ, and LAT AM in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be a treat. It's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Europe's shaped up well. We see the fact that Tempo Storm, I think, has completely qualified themselves for the Western Clashes in North America
after the victory
as well.
yesterday,
Yes.
they are in.
So then we're just waiting for a few more additions to that lineup, but it's shaping up in brilliant fashion. That's already 4 amazing teams that have already put themselves firmly in spot.
Yeah, I think another one in North America that's starting to shape up is Team 8.
Yes,
we
true.
could possibly see Team 8, Glarong, leading a team. If I would have told you that 5 weeks ago, I don't think anyone would have believed it, but that team is really coming together, and they've been a solid force in that region.
I believe they confirmed their spot as well, correct?
Did they? Awesome, cool.
Because at least I saw Glaurung tweeting out yesterday, woo, Poland. So I'm like, good job, Glaurung.
Good job, Glarong. So, yeah, Tempo Storm, Team 8, all these teams going to the Western Clash. It's going to be a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys are excited for it. It will be in Poland. Katowice will be the place for all the Heroes of the Storm action. Coming back to this matchup this best of 5, Sergeant Hammer starting to become a hero that, in this series in particular, was a must-pick.
I don't even think it's just influence of the Korean region with HGC Korea. I have seen our European teams bust it out from time to time, you know, be it in practice, be it in previous tournaments and stuff. So it's always kind of been the outlier, just slightly on the edge of the meta circle that we actually do see. And it shows a lot of power. We saw Expert running it yesterday. Varying degrees of success, not exactly working out too well for them. But both of these teams made it work in 4 of the games out of the 5.
I remember last year, a good 6 months ago, Sergeant Hammer and Li Ming were actually the best you could pick up in terms of assassins for the meta. When you think about it, Sergeant Hammer is kind of a weird auto-attacker burster in a way. She gets that napalm that's able to sit in the back line and kind of hurt and zone out an area if they walk through the napalm, but the focus attack, the executioner, all these elements being brought together, especially when you put Tyrael with the mix-up, can just give your team the setup to actually destroy the opposing line.
I mean, in that last game, of course, we saw Hammer picked before Chromie in the draft, which does hurt Hammer a lot.
True.
Not 100% knowing you're going to have to go up against a Chromie is a very scary and risky spot for a Hammer. So as much as Snitch did try and make it work, I think he barely even died anyway. Let me take a quick little look. He didn't even die. Snitch just never dies, actually, in HGC Europe. He just never dies. But regardless, it puts a lot of fear into a Hammer and really limits the amount of damage output a Hammer can do going up against such a terrible force.
Your posturing naturally becomes defensive against a Chromie because you can't give her the easy setup. You never get to siege up. You never get that splash damage that allows for a Sergeant Hammer to own a fort or a keep wall in this instance. So what a world we live in now, where Chromie is a pickup that we can see in 3 to 4 games in a best-of-5 series, and nobody bats an eye at it.
Yeah.
It's a crazy world. And you know what? In a couple weeks, Murky becomes that new hero.
Oh, jeez.
Come on, guys. Give me that Murky life.
No one needs the giant big kahuna Murloc. Let's be honest.
I think everyone needs a big kahuna Murloc. Oh. That's the way I'm looking at it, man. He's going to be first pick ban for me in every single Hero League game when he comes out.
One of his talents called Anything Can Happen? Anything Can Happen? No?
Nope. He's got the never-ending Murlocs, though, on level 20, which, while comical, still one of my favorite heroics for controlling a boss. So we'll be seeing that relatively soon as well. So continuing with the meta constantly changing here, we didn't see any Sonya today, which was interesting to me. But when you have these compositions that are so good at poking from afar with the Chromie, with the Sergeant Hammers, you can see why it's not working out too well. Let's see where our teams currently stand here in the HGC after this series that we've just witnessed. Misfits at the very top with the 6-0 still. Fnatic will slot themselves up, though, to number 2. With the 5-1 as they earn this win over Dignitas. Now, Dignitas also has already confirmed their place here at number 3 for Katowice, so we will be seeing them there. If Fnatic did lose today, there was a chance that Expert and Playing Ducks would have a chance, but those chances have now been squashed out. So they're playing to stay alive here in the HGC. If you can get into that 4th and 6th slot, you won't have to play in the Crucible, which will be in the few weeks after the Clash that we'll start seeing that come together.
And that actually lends itself very nicely onto the potential next series that we've got coming up, which of course is going to be Synergy going up against Playing Ducks. 2 teams that are in a spot where they want to be vying for the middle of the table. Definitely don't want to be down towards the lower portion where unfortunately B Genius seems to have kind of found their place right now. But again, Europe is a very deep region and being in the top 8 alone is an achievement in itself. Never mind the great teams that are coming up through the Crucible as well later on down the line. So yeah, some people have to be down there, and Synergy and Playing Duck definitely don't want to be down there.
Yeah, you mentioned the depth, and I could see an alternative timeline where Synergy is the Playing Ducks right now, or the Playing Ducks, their slot is taken by Synergy because of how well they do play. They're just not very good at ending the game. That's the one thing they're missing out on in their compositions, where the Playing Ducks have found that, right? Yeah. They started to group as a team. They started to get to a point where, okay, we know how to handle cheese comps that come our way, and we know how to actually finish a game. So that's going to be a great matchup to watch just because Synergy, we get to watch them week in and week out continue to grow and become that team that could have been the Playing Ducks in the first phase of the season, while at the same time, the Playing Ducks, their main concern right now is just to make sure that they stay in that top 6. They will look towards becoming top 3 later on for Phase 2, but for now they're looking good. Regardless, though, our best-of-5 series is going to conclude here. Dignitas has taken a couple of games from Fnatic, but Fnatic walks away with the overall victory and secure a slot at Katowice. We're going to go ahead and run into a commercial break. We'll be right back with our next match. And prevent Daredevil from coming in from the engage and killing Tracer. Keeping your teammate alive may have been better. However, this is not going to work out too well as Tracer gets picked off, but the Holy Ground will allow Dignitas to start retreating. However, Bakery continuing to get aggression here. He does drop the Ice Block. Napalm, though, comes in, and Quack next Stitch plays aggressively as they start kiting this boss here. Oh, Stitch in trouble, though. He gets polymorph. Oh, no, Dahaka, fly away.
Fnatic has got to be very, very happy with the position they're currently in, especially with that ETC kill. Despite on the right-hand side, they just want Wobby to take the beacon for a little bit, and then they could back off. They're putting pressure on here. A lot of them are silenced, though, at the moment. That's big AoE damage coming out as Malfurion and Jaina get wiped up the face of Brax's hold down, and that is the win that Dignitas needs here to try and escalate this further.
Just popped his Molten Core on the back left, but
oh my
yet to be touched here. Does Fnatic take this 3-0 with their core rush? Here comes Sergeant Hammer. That's it. Dignitas goes down 3-0 as Fnatic goes, no, wait. They actually hold it 3% here. What the 5-man? No, they actually defended it. That was insanely close there.
He's also putting a lot of damage. There's Falstaff, there's the Gust. They're looking for damage. Ring of Frost comes out, but they all avoid it. Fnatic plays a blinder of a fight.
Wubby on the back line here. Temporal Loop pops off. Ice Buff will slow him down the holy ground, but there's a drag. Wubby getting the kill on Malfurion. JPL and Stitch on the other side. Molten Core is sieging from the middle lane.
Yeah, so that was a great palm on Wubby as well. But they're going to go back in here knowing there's 26 seconds still left on Ragnaros actually coming up. Stormbolt hits Mene on the left-hand side. Breeze jumps on the other side of the core here, making sure that they could all get healed up and sustained, not taking risks, coming back to the core. They take the series 3-2.
The most important thing I've learned in all my